Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back. Today I'm playing along with the sketch from the scrapbook room. I'm also playing along with Baby Got Scraps, and I have used a couple papers from my 100 pattern paper challenge. So I am documenting a few pictures of Joe and I reading Cody's favorite book, which is The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And of course, that very bright colored paper reminded me of all the different colors within that book. And so that was one of the challenge papers, as well as the white background. Scraps come in where I'm using this waffle flower book die cut set, and I can tell you that this was a labor of love because these books took forever. And another reason why I prefer to use pre-made die cuts and things like that instead of putting my own together, because yeah, this took forever. So I don't know if you'll see me use this die very much in the future, but we'll see. I might come up with some other ideas to use it. So I skipped ahead that I didn't show you making each and every one of the books here, but you'll get to see a sample of all the items that I created with those dies. And then as you can see that I did rotate the sketch to have the photos on the bottom, or going across the bottom, or no, I didn't. I did a mirror flip, and the pictures are on the right side of the layout versus the left. So here is another scrap that I pulled out that I use this piece of wood grain and using it here down below, so it kind of gives a feeling of the book sitting on a wooden bookshelf. And I did use a border strip here of these hearts. So I did get a branding strip used, so that's always good to get some of those out of my stash. I have a lot of them, and of course, every time I cut into another piece of paper with a branding strip, then there's another one added to the stash. So here we go with adding in all the books on my bookshelf that I did start in the middle, and I kind of wish I had done this a little bit different, but in the end it's okay. This last one that I put on the very right here, that you don't get to see very much of it because one of my photos will cover up a lot of it, and then I end up with a partial one that I have to cut off on the left hand side. And so if I just planned a little bit better, then it probably wouldn't have had two partial books showing. So here I am putting some foam adhesive underneath the pre-made die cut that I purchased from my local scrapbook store, that they had this hungry caterpillar already created, and that was way easier than coming up with my own. And so here you can see that I have it crawling across the books there, and so I tried to make it so the two tall books were where the caterpillar's legs would land, and then in between I could use the shorter books. So that was my initial plan. Here you can see that I did start out with larger photos, and I do end up trimming those down to try and avoid covering up some of the books there at the bottom. And I did debate whether to, maybe push the books more, or push the photos over more to the right side of the layout, but I didn't want to cover up all of that multicolored paper either. So since it does represent part of the book that we're reading, but I didn't want it to be too overwhelming, so I think in the end, I think it came out to be a good balance of representing the colors in the book, but not being too bold and overwhelming the pictures here. So getting some foam adhesive on the back of my photos here, and then I do use this strip of black paper scrap that I had, and end up matting each of my photos here. So I get those on, and let's see, what am I gonna do next here? And anyway, so what are some of did you document some of the favorite books that your kids or grandkids read? Um, I know when my daughter was little, her favorite book was Mr. Pine's Purple House, and I have done a layout documenting that that was my favorite book as a kid, and she also loved it as well. And she also liked the fairy books and the Pinkalicious books as well when she was little. So I just thought this would be a fun way to document that he still loves reading this book, although he has moved on to dinosaur books. So that's usually the first one he goes to. And another consistent one that he likes to read is Brown Bear, Brown Bear, What Do You See? Yeah, maybe we need to shake up and get some different books to read in the evening before he goes to bed and see what else we can come up with. So here you can see I pulled out a die cut pack from Hip Kit Club and found this round one that I could include my journaling on there at the bottom, and cut it off to make it work. And I didn't know exactly what I was going to do for my title, and then I decided, since there is a picture of both Joe and myself each reading with Cody on different nights with the same book, I used the Doodlebug Puffy Alphas. Then my title is Reading with Nana and Papa. And then my final little bit here is I pulled out these Chamel enamel dots and added some of those around the layout, and that wraps things up. So here are the close-up shots. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those down below. In the description, I will have a list of everybody playing along with each of the challenges I am playing with. And thank you for stopping by. We will see you next time. Bye.